started.
DGT man. Okay, well, how about a French defense here? Oh, he just plays D3. It's a very quiet way to play. I'll go ahead and put my pawns in the center anyway. He can now pile up on this diagonal, that's true. Let's think. He can't push the pawn because I can take it. If he exchanges, it's well enough defended. If I play knight to f6, he plays knight f3. He is kind of threatening to push the pawn. I could exchange and push my pawn. It seems, I mean, I wasted a move there, moving this pawn twice, but it seems logical to keep his bishop locked in behind the pawn chain there. So just bishop e7 and castle, I guess. This can be defended by b6 if it gets attacked. And castling is good. I want to be able to take back. If he trades queens, I would like to be able to take back with a rook and get a rook to this file. And he played c3. That prevents me from playing knight to d4 at some point, which would have been a nice move, but I would have needed to protect the e5 pawn first anyway. So queen c7, I guess, is the thing to play here. Get the queen off the d file, maybe bring a rook over. I can play bishop to g4. I guess he will kick it. He won't kick it now. I can play bishop g4 and the bishop can just stay there. And I think that should be good for me. Okay, he's going to pile up on the d pawn, but that's adequately protected at the moment. I've got a knight and a queen on it, and his other knight is pinned anyway. So I can just play b5, right? And the knight has to go back. And I think I should. There's no reason to allow that. No reason to allow that knight to have a good outpost. Ah, he goes there. Yeah, that's good, I guess. So his queen is looking at my b pawn. My knight is looking at his e pawn. So I could view this as a trade of e pawn for d pawn. But oh, if I take here, he will take the bishop, and then it's not defended. If I defend here, then he will exchange, and I'll get a knight to this square. That looks good too. Let's just defend the b pawn and see if he wants to trade off my bishop. Oh, he didn't even want to trade it. Interesting. So what's my plan here? He could take my dark squared bishop if he wants. Let's bring a rook. Bring a rook to this file. Maybe one just wants to leave that knight there. Okay, he does. He just wants to leave that knight there. So let's chase that knight away. I don't want it to stay there. I guess I should chase the bishop away first.
Check.
Just checking around, I realized I left that knight loose. That knight is loose there, but there was no tactic on it that I saw. So he's playing against my c-pawn here, also unpinning his knight. His queen is kind of tied down, though, because his knight is hanging there if the queen moves. So he kicks my knight back. I mean, he kicks my bishop back. Let's Let's drop back. I think that's a good bishop. Let's keep it. And let's maneuver my knight around. I think that needs to find a better square. Okay, he's playing with the f-pawn, bringing the f-pawn forward. Left a weakness on g3. But I can't immediately exploit that. I can let him take or I can let him push. Let's see, if I take, he probably will take with the rook. He could take with a pawn as well, though. If I drop back, he might push the f-pawn forward, which would gain a tempo on my bishop. Now let's take and see which way he wants to take back. I have rook to rook to d3 there. Looks interesting, right? Yeah, since he took with the rook, I'm not so worried about this. I think maybe it was a little more dangerous for him to take with a pawn, but it was also weakening too. So anyway, I'm going to try and penetrate on the d file here. Rook d3, ring the other rook to d8, maybe get a rook to the second rank even. Here, let's start with rook d3. Okay, he's hitting my knight and he's hitting the pawn. Now I can, I wonder if there's a bigger threat here I can make. You know, rather than just defending this pawn. If I bring the knight over, is this going to be winning material? Well, it looks like a good spot for the knight anyway. Ah, he's pausing to think. First time during the game he thought, I guess he's wondering if it's really safe to take that pawn. Okay, so let's weaken his pawns over here a little bit. Yeah, the bishop is defending this pawn, the pawn's defending the rook, the knight's defending the rook, the knight is loose. I know I have to be careful about that one. I'm hitting over here on his b pawn. But I can just take it if he pushes it forward because the knight is defending my rook. And I still have the idea of doubling on the d file and coming in here. Let's see, he can give up the queen for a bishop and a rook, right? He can play queen takes bishop, pawn takes, rook takes rook, king here. And he's won yeah, just a rook and a bishop for a queen. That's probably not enough. Okay, so I think I would like to trade off that good knight that he has there. Well, I mean, I'm giving up a good knight too. I'm not sure. Let's think. But I don't want to retreat my knight. I guess that's the point. Ah, so he wants to trade a bit. So this is good. He's going to be left with a number of weaknesses after this. Yes, take back, then I'll grab the b pawn. So the material will be even. I think I have the better bishop here. And then I have this passed pawn, which is more advanced. Let's see, so I have a check here, or here. Which is the better check? This one maybe get onto a... no, I take it back. Let's just pin his rook. put the queen on a dark square, get my rook behind my pawn and just push that forward. So the material is even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pawns, same color bishop, rook and queen. My passed pawn is more advanced than his, and my pawn structure in general is a little more sound. I've got 3 pawns together and 1 passed pawn. He's got 2, 1, and 1. And of course there is a danger here that he has the outside passed pawn, so if we get into a true endgame situation, could be a problem. Also have to be aware that his bishop might get onto this diagonal, and then there's mate threats on the back rank, so I have to watch out for those kind of tricks. So he wants to trade off my bishop so that he can take my rook. But I can, well, that's clever. If I take his bishop, he can also take here with the queen or the rook. But is that enough, right? My queen is defending this square. So, see, I take here, he takes here. My queen is defending G2, and it's my turn to move, right? So I can save my rook. So I don't believe his tactic is working here.
Check.
Even if my queen weren't defending G7, my king is, so I can't. You cannot take there. Let's see. I can take here with check. I can push this pawn forward to queen, or I can bring my rook over to. Well, my rook is defended by the bishop here, so my rook is safe actually. So probably just pushing this pawn forward. I don't see how he can get any kind of attack going here. Okay, so he attacks my bishop. That's a good idea here, and defends this pawn. Let's just push this pawn forward. Let him have the bishop, because if he takes the bishop, I will queen, and the queen will defend the rook. So even though his queen is looking at my rook, it doesn't help him. Okay, so I have to be a little careful on the back rank here. There, I'm piling up on the e-pawn here. There's no checks, right? Rook takes, rook check, I take it. Queen check, I take it. Rook there. Okay, so he had to leave the back rank, but now the queens can come in.
Check.
With check. Seems pretty likely there is a mate here somewhere.
Check.
Just don't want to leave the back rank unattended at a key moment and have his have him deliver the check instead of me. So I want to get to this square, right? Getting my queen to H1 is the idea. Queen H1 check, king to G4, queen D1 check. He could block with the rook still. Oh, he runs there anyway. Without being asked, he runs there.
Check.
And he goes back. Well, I hate to give my queen up for a rook, but maybe that's the simplest way to end this. Oh, well, let's try this one first. Check here. Check here.
Check.
No, I can't go back. He could block with the rook, or he could move to F. Move to f4.
White resigns.
Yeah, it's mate on f4. Blocking with the rook maybe would have lasted a few more moves. Anyway, interesting game. I'll upload this into a postmortem. See you guys later.